Well, hello everyone. Today I have the greatest honor of connecting with one of our Navigators partners, Todd VanDerVoorn. So, Todd, welcome. I know we can't see you, but I get to hear your wonderful voice here.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Hey, Todd, for those who may not know you, share a little bit about yourself. What do you do? Are you married, kids? Where are you living at?
Sure. I am a financial advisor and have been in finance since I graduated college, which was about 22 years ago. Married and have 5 kids, all
Whoa.
in the teenage style of life.
Got it. Okay, Todd, you sound like you have a young voice. Are you in your mid 30s, early 40s?
I'm in my I'm nearing the I'm in the upper 40s now, I guess, but my heart is still in its 20s.
Oh my gosh. Hey, I'm 43, Todd,
Nice.
and I have a 1.5-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old daughter, and here you have teenage kids.
Yes, yes.
Oh, and then you live in the city of what it's a small little city right near Sugar Grove, right?
Yeah, called Elburn. So it's only about 6 to 7,000 people. Probably about an hour west of Chicagoland or Chicago.
Yeah, yeah. And you and I were talking right before we started interviewing. You were connected with navigators back at ISU. And
Correct.
talk to me about that experience.
Um, I had some friends that from my hometown that went to ISU before me, and they went to Navigators and told me that when I got there that I had to join them because it was just a great experience and some great relationships that they had developed there. So as soon as I went to Illinois State, got plugged in there, and the rest is history.
Yeah. As you reflect back, because I was very involved with InterVarsity at Washington University in St. Louis, as you
Mhm.
reflect upon, what are some of the memories from your time at Navigators that emerged during your time at ISU?
Well, when you say InterVarsity, it's funny because InterVarsity was on our campus as well, and it seemed that each of the ministries, Navigators, Campus Crusade, and InterVarsity, had their own little niches,
Yep.
and the core niche that Navigators stood for, in my mind, that I really appreciated was discipleship.
Mm-hmm.
So, we had our meetings up in our dorms or the houses that we lived in with a small group of guys. Jim Ranella was the leader of the time of the college ministry in Illinois State, and he spent a lot of time mentoring me along with a few other awesome guys, and I would consider those guys friends 20 years later.
Yeah. Yep. Don't you? I mean, I've been out of college for 20 years. For you, it's been a little longer. I look back and some of those friendships in college, man, they were just so special. I miss the college years where you didn't have to think about business and kids. You got to play around during spring break, or went early Christmas break to play video games. You stayed up studying until 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning.
You studied?
I had to.
Just kidding. Yeah, I tell my wife, marriage is obviously one of the greatest gifts God has given us here on earth, but my greatest 4+ years was definitely spent
Yes.
in college.
You got it. Yeah. And then so now afterwards, how did you know you want to be a financial analyst? Was that a job that you got right out of college and you just stayed with the same role?
It's funny because so that's an interesting story, especially relating to navigators. Um, because my senior year, Jim Ranella pulled myself and then another gentleman aside, Ben Nugent, and he said he wanted to take us to Colorado because he was going to be starting a ministry there for navigators. Um, I was humbled and appreciated the offer, but I really felt like that's not where God wanted me. And honestly, I felt that way because of my own immaturity spiritually. And I just thought, I don't know if I'm qualified to do a great job for him in Colorado. So my degree was actually in public relations. So,
Interesting.
yep.
Yeah.
And when I was interviewing for jobs back in 1997, back then jobs were a dime a dozen. And I interviewed with marketing departments, advertising, public relations, and And then a financial company, a bank at the time, offered me a management training program as a job. And as I prayed about it, really felt like God was telling me that He wants me to go the financial route, not go into the marketing route, which seemed like an appealing job in the secular world. So that was again 22 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, and again, enjoyed the bank, but that was kind of more of a platform to jump off to become a financial advisor. And um, haven't looked back since, and absolutely love the job that I do now.
Interesting. When you say you love the job that you do now, what is it about the job that you love?
Well, I love people. I love something that stirs in me is the thought that when I have left this earth, the people that I've left behind, is the life I've left meaningful and have purpose? I think all of us as individuals that work feel that way. Um, and I really, my job as a financial advisor, sure, it's managing money and helping clients make financially wise decisions. But really, it's just loving them and helping give them peace of mind in a place that can be fairly uh, traumatic and full of turmoil in the stock market and such. So it's fun just to be blessed with 150, 200 households, just to love them and
Yeah.
help them.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And it's interesting because now, I mean, you and I were chatting about I built cell towers for 20 years. I mean, 12 years. Now I'm doing a lot of ministry work. For you, you're also doing ministry work, not in a full-time vocation.
Sure.
How does discipleship look like now in what you're currently doing?
I don't do a lot of discipleship in my job. Um, that's probably more on just the personal side with through my church, mentoring young men since I graduated
Yeah,
college. Um, that discipleship factor from Navigators has really poured in since then,
yeah,
and I've been in youth ministry for those 22 years as well, and that's where I kind of fulfill that mm, core desire of discipling young men.
yeah. Very, very good. And so, like navigators, as you've continued to follow and journey, you've really been a supporter for navigators for a while now. What keeps you supporting the navigators? What are the things that you love about what navigators or even the Chicago office is doing?
Sure. I just look at the ministry that I was blessed with through Navigators, and as I mentioned, the two guys just a minute ago, and there's some other people that I love to support. I see the fruit of the labor that they do, and even though I can't or am not doing it directly, uh, God's blessed me with the financial resources, and it's a blessing to be able to pass that on so that uh, guys like Jim, Ben, and others in Chicago are able
Yeah,
to help people.
very, very good. Todd, you are in some sense the financial business, so you always have to find new clients and develop new clients. I hear from the staff, many staff or many people, one of the things that they hate doing is fundraising. I do a lot of it all over the world. You probably have to have those conversations. What's your advice to the staff? What are your advice in terms of making ask and partnering with different people financially?
Oh, I was talking, I think it was to Ben one day about fundraising. And if I could encourage those in navigators not to focus on themselves and the pain or the struggle of fundraising, but to try to find guys like myself who don't see them approaching me asking me for more money. It's more like, hey, how can I give to his work? Because I don't have the time to go into the college campuses or spend time downtown Chicago developing people or witnessing to others about Christ. Um, so it's almost like a mindset change. Don't
Yeah.
focus on having to ask for money. Find people that can partner up and look forward to partnering up.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's key, isn't it, Todd? I think a lot of times you do it all the time is you developing new clients, but
Yep,
it takes time to network, to have those conversations,
sure.
and to really be able to understand what makes them tick, what are the motivations behind their life.
Yep, yep. I also one little side funny note. I told my buddy Ben, I'm like, you need to talk to people like me and say, hey, inflation. Can we look at increasing this every few years? So
Yeah.
lots of inflation.
Yeah. Hey, now I've never met your friend Ben. What does he do?
Uh, Actually, I think he does the same thing that you do, or maybe not what you do, but um, he is one of the national leaders for like Chicago.
Very good. Okay.
He'd be the guy that talks to whoever's in charge in Chicago.
Yep, yep, yep. Ben, whoever you are, as I talk with this, Todd just introduced me to you, and I can't wait to really be able to get to know you as well too.
He's got more energy than I do.
Hey, Todd, last question before.
Sure.
And during this COVID thing, how has that affected your business and your outlook on life?
I'm kind of fortunate because my assistant moved down to Florida in 2015, which made us become virtual.
Yeah.
So, and I work all over the nation with clients through phone and video. So that part hasn't changed at all. Um, Obviously, in March, when the stock market was even contemplating shutting down for a few days, I had a lot of clients that were scared, but um, just talking them off the ledge or just encouraging them that this too shall pass. So really, it was probably only a couple weeks of trauma professionally. Personally, managing 5 kids, now that's a different story.
Hey, by the way, Todd, what's the youngest of all the kids?
8th grader.
Okay, okay. And so are you at a point where between you and your wife, are you guys sitting on any of the Zoom or doing any of the classes?
No, I just let them do what they want to do. The kids make sure that they wake up in time, and if they have questions, we're there to help
Yeah,
navigate them. But for the most part, it's the teachers, their friends, and just
yeah.
Zoom.
Todd, I wish I was in those things. The first when all of this started happening, my wife is a first grade teacher, and
Yeah.
my youngest, oldest, is a first grader. I tried sitting there with her; it did not work. Did not work.
Yeah, I feel for you. I can't imagine these days having kids in grade school. It's much more it's simple having high school kids for the most part.
I watched my wife was a first grade teacher, and those kids kept playing around with the mute button, their camera, their background. I said, "How in the world do you get anything done?"
Yeah, right.
Oh, well, hey, my friend, thank you so much. On behalf of navigators, I want to hear your story. I want people to hear your story, but I just want to say thank you for all of your support.
Sounds good. Thanks, Tommy.
All right, have a good day, Todd.
All right, you as well.